So I went to the bookstore and asked for a digital copy of Prince Harry's new book. The shop assistant asked if I wanted a PDF file, and I said, no, that's his uncle. Allegedly. Anyway.
I don't think there's any allegedly about it.
No, there is. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yes.
Yeah.
He can still hire more powerful lawyers than you could possibly imagine.
Yeah, well, there you go. He's got to be listening to us first. In which case,
He
by
does.
Black Dog by royal appointment. Nothing wrong with that.
They often play us in the Pizza Express.
What, in Windsor?
Woking.
Woking.
Yeah, because that's where he was.
It'll be like the
That's where he said he
Nintendo
was.
seal of approval, then, won't it?
It
The
will.
Windsor seal of approval.
The Windsor seal of approval. Yes, we listen to this arsehole and his friends. Signed a. Never mind. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to
Signed A. Corgi.
say.
Poor print.
Poor print. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, hello everyone. Welcome to the Black Dog number 118. I'm Lee.
I'm Darren.
I'm Jim.
I'm Elton.
And this week we'll see how everyone's week's been. I will slowly descend into alcoholism thanks to this lovely red that I'm slowly consuming. And then we will go on to review this week's movie, which was my double dip after Glass Onion, which was Tammy and the T-Rex, because so many people on the Facebook group and elsewhere called our bluff. So I called their bluff. So anyway, yes, Tammy and the T-Rex. Or is it Tanny and the T-Rex? Who knows?
I don't
It could
know.
be. It could,
Could be.
It could
We
be.
could have had a sort of like, sort of like I don't know, a lyrical title for these things. So you got Tammy and the T-Rex. We could have had Hottie and the Nottie. Next week.
Oh, yep. Well,
Tammy
just
and the T-Rex, Hottie
Don't
and
tempt
the
me.
Nottie.
don't. It's-
Be on your best behaviour. It's my choice.
It is.
It is, yes, it is. And that would be a choice, Jim. That would be a choice.
Wow.
And then
It
glitter
certainly
in the
would.
shitter.
Shitter.
Is that on Pornhub?
Yeah, hold on.
What's
hold on.
Pornhub?
What's Pornhub? I don't know. It's the same as Babe Station, isn't it? Anyway,
Isn't that a hub where you go to give people things for money?
yes, that's it.
And then go back and get them when you want to pay the debt back.
Yeah.
Is that or is it that kind of porn?
I hope
No?
so, because, well, actually, it did
Is
cause
it a chess club?
Could be. Well, there's chests in it, but
Is it something to do with seafood? Small seafood crustaceans. No, that's Prawn Hub, isn't it? Sorry,
I think there's definitely some sausage in there, but
Anything to do with cutting the lawn? No, that's Lawn Hub.
Lawn Hub,
Lawn
Prawn Hub. Yeah.
there's the people who get together who like being up when the sun kind of appears, but that'll be Dawn Hub.
I think I've seen that film.
Have you now?
There's a barber's version, but that's Sean Hub.
Oh, right. Yes,
Very
that's it.
good.
Nice, very
I was
good.
just thinking that.
And a bodybuilder's one, Brawn Hub.
Hey. Oh, God.
We should be copywriting all these domain names now.
Isn't there the carpentry one as well?
Go on.
Sawn Hub.
Ah.
No.
And
And
you
the paper
guys,
cut one, Torn Hub.
and you guys have the temerity to take the piss out of me doing dad
Oh, the
jokes and puns.
temerity!
There's
Yes.
the artist one as well.
Go on.
Drawn Hub.
Ah. then there's the one set in a maternity ward, Born Hub.
Oh, there's the the one for people who like to give out lots of expletives. That's Sworn Hub.
Then there's the one that fights Captain Kirk and Vasquez Roggs, and that's Gorn Hub.
See, I would have never made that one.
No, you would never have made that one.
No, I'm sure there's another one we can get in there.
Yeah, there's one for the people who like deers, and that's Fawn Hub.
Oh, yes, I thought of that one. Damn it.
We're just going through the alphabet now.
Alphabet, yeah.
then there's one for death metal, which is Cornhub. Never mind.
And then there's that one. For
And
those
this-
little things that
there's
crawl
one for
along
this
the bottom of
joke.
The sea, Prawn Hub.
I've done Prawnhub.
There's one for
did
this
you do
joke
Prawn
as
Hub?
well.
Oh, go on. Hold on. Yeah, I did. Hold on. Firstly, Elton, before you jump in with the closer, because I can feel that's the closer right there. Yes, Darren, I did say Prawnhub. We started that with
Oh.
seafood.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Shows how
Well,
much
that was
I-
a long time ago, Grandad, but keep up.
It was. It was a long time ago.
He measures things in epochs now. It just goes. Everything less than a couple of minutes is just like flying by in seconds. It's like being an ent.
Just because I start every sentence with the word ye.
Yee.
Ye oldie.
Right, and now Elton will now provide the closing joke to this entire segment.
And there's one for this joke. Warnhub.
Warnhub.
Worn out. Hello. I got the bell, didn't I?
Yeah, that's it. Anyway,
Yeah.
hello everyone. Welcome to Black Dog 118. And yes, as I said, we're going to do Tammy and the T-Rex later on. For what that's
Prawn Hub
worth.
music.
No. Not
Easy.
easy. Yeah, hold on. What? Something tells me I need to turn that down. Right, okay, because my ears have just blown out.
You can tell that they've already been done because look at the way she's walking.
Yeah, that,
Yes.
yes, man alive! I've got so many notes. I've got so many notes for this film. Seriously,
I've got extensive PDFs of the scripts and the breakdown of what it all actually means.
I think our review will actually have to go frame by frame on this one. Anyway, yes, let's get to that in a bit. But before we do that, before we get onto that juicy dangler, let's get on to Jim. I was going to say Jim's juicy dangler, but I think that's probably very wrong.
I
Jim,
think it is.
Jim, how's your
that's
week
better.
been, sir?
Fairly quiet, fairly cold, really.
Cold.
A time to hibernate.
Yeah, good weather for sleeping bears.
Absolutely.
Mm.
On the subject of keeping warm, Teresa got us one of those like really long, thin, tubular hot water bottles.
Ah,
And I have to say, way superior to your conventional hot water bottle, which stays hot for a bit, then goes a bit warm, then just tepid for the rest of the night. This really keeps the heat in and just warms the bed lovely. If you're a married person, got a double bed, just stick it between you, sorted.
Play the music.
Yeah, hold on.
There we go.
Anyway,
You ain't getting away with
Well,
that. God.
Last couple nights being -3 and -4, we've just been like, toasty and warm.
nice.
Just a shame the alarm got to get up and do stuff. But
Yeah.
it's actually still warm in the morning as well. Like, it
Yeah?
really keeps the heat in. I was very impressed.
Nice.
Must be something to do with the shape, I think. I don't know the physics of it, but if you're looking for a way to keep warm in bed and save some pennies, just spend a couple of quid and buy a big long one, and a hot water bottle.
Jesus Christ, Jim. Give me at least a little bit of warning. I've just looked away from the soundboard for 1 second.
I know,
One
coming thick and
second.
fast here.
Yeah.
We used to have one of those here. It's got quite a bit of girth to it, hasn't it, Jim?
Oh my God.
We've gone into Pornhubception.
Oh, they've gone into a porn loop.
Oh God! We got to get some new ones. We got to get a brown. I got to get a brown chicken, brown cow. Or the opening to Marvin Gaye's "Let Get It On" or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, so apart from your hot long one, Jim, that you've been sharing with Teresa,
Oh, whoa. Jim,
Yes.
do you happen to have a link for that, please? Is it on
What for
Amazon?
What for the?
I don't. It was a Christmas present, so I don't. But
oh, good Lord.
yeah. Well, you can find a whole variety of them in various different,
Robert Dyce do
furry cases, plush cases, knitted ones, all sorts. You name it.
Oh
it's
my
there.
God. I can't keep pressing that button. I'm just going to wear out my bloody mouse. Hold on.
Are we not sponsored by them yet? For fuck's sake!
I always got a cool. It's like a long comedy dog.
Jeez. Oh my God. There's all sorts here. I'm looking at Amazon. This is just double entendre. It's like, would you like a rubber hot water bottle which is long, soft and furry?
Right, I'm going to look on Amazon, which is my mum's Amazon.
Hold on.
No,
This is
long, soft, and furry.
Yes, madam. There you go. It's all done. I've sent it to you in the chat. There you
Oh,
go.
beautiful.
That's
the basket.
Yeah, I just. When did we stop talking about moaning about films and coming soon and all this kind of thing?
Remember when we
soon,
used
eh?
to go cinema?
Yeah. Coming soon. Oh, good Lord. I'm not doing it. I refuse to press the SID button anymore. I'm not pressing it.
Okay,
All right.
your loss.
Anyway. Yeah, and now we've gone from a reasonable movie news podcast, a reasonable movie review podcast to how to keep old people alive podcast.
These are huge, Jim. These are
They're
like
very big.
yeah.
They are, aren't they? Yes.
Jesus Christ, stop it.
These are like the water cooler bottles. They're huge.
Yeah, they are. They're enormous.
But
Can you get a triple
one
entendre?
kettle will fill one up. That's the beauty of them. Very, very, very energy efficient. As approved by Martin Lewis, Britain's next Prime Minister.
You
after
hope.
the revolution.
once everyone, all the current Prime Minister and his gang are sort of put against the wall, and then the revolution comes. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, Jim. Carry on.
That's all right. I'm not sure I can top that, to be honest, with some feeble chat about what I watched.
Go on.
Well, this week we watched The Rig on Amazon Prime.
Oh, nice. I'm looking forward to that. Is it any good?
Same here.
I really enjoyed it because it's kind of it's 6 parts, which is good. It's clearly structured in 3 acts, so if you do 2 a night, that's probably perfect. And it's one of those things. It's kind of just a very intriguing storyline. And just when you think you know where it's going, it goes somewhere slight. It takes a turn. It's not like M. Night Shyamalan twisty turny, but it's just it's the plot's on the ball enough to keep moving.
Oh, good.
And it did strike me kind of, why has no one ever done anything set on an oil rig before? Because it's a fantastic location.
Yeah. It
You've
gives
got industrial vibes, you've got heavy machinery, you've got storms, tidal waves, earthquakes,
isolation,
fire and oil, isolation.
Nice.
Fog. You've got the works in one location. I'm amazed this is the first thing I think I've ever seen set on an oil rig. But it's a really good cast, and I thought it was really well done and interesting, and it's probably a. To be honest, in fairness, I think the plot's pretty good, but I think the performances that really sell it, because we've got some really good top flight characters who sometimes they really say something that really gets you in the feels.
Oh, right. Nice.
And it is kind of, I think it's really very interesting and sort of say just a bit different, I think. To say it's that novelty of this. An oil rig, of course. This is brilliant. But for halfway through the first episode, we're like, why haven't we had a whole subgenre of things set on oil rigs? It's all a fantastic location.
Nice.
The good thing I watched was an old British Ealing movie that I'd not heard of that people should, which I shall we say, found by some internet jiggery pokery. VPN used to get the streaming service. I had it negative for free. But it's called The Night His Number Came Up. And basically, I'm not sure. I've not got to dig into history yet, but this is kind of like the great granddaddy of all those airplane disaster movies.
Oh, God.
But superior to them all, bar none.
Really?
The premise is quite simply: there's a British flight leaving from Hong Kong from a military base with a few big wigs on, and basically, one of the officers has a premonition, or rather, has a dream that the plane's going to crash.
Right.
And obviously, this sort of spreads throughout everyone on the plane, and then things start to go wrong just as they did in the dream.
Oh, blimey! Right. Yeah.
But it's an excellent cast. You got Michael Redgrave, Michael Hordern, Denham Elliott.
Blimey!
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, all quite young and at the top of their game. And it's just a really well done film. And the last, consider it was 55. Some of the effects work is particularly good because it, probably not really a spoiler to say, but things do go tits up. Yes. But it is actually, if you don't have I don't have a fear of flying, but I was thinking, I'm really not happy about this. I don't like the idea of playing anymore now.
Oh, no.
And if you have a fear of flying, it might be the most terrifying thing you'll see for a long time.
Oh, that's not good.
Because there's a few things in it I've not seen done before, but and it is kind of like, it's like, oh, fucking hell, no. What's that? But very worth tracking down. If it comes on streaming, I will pick it. But it's one of those movies that I can't believe I'd not heard of it.
No, I've never heard of that before.
Well, I got onto it because I found like one of the listicles where Quentin Tarantino named his 8 favourite British movies of all time. And they were all like really old, and there's not one before like 1970. But this was one of them. And I thought, oh, that sounds like
nice.
Premonition. Someone has a nightmare about a plane crash, and I looked at the cast. I thought, right, I'm going to find this, and I was glad I did. I thought it was really, really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's the kind of thing probably turn up on Talking Pictures.
Yeah, that does sound.
Keep an eye out on for it. But I'm very impressed.
Yeah, they do a sort of late night horror sort of hammer stuff that they can basically afford. They're increasing their library, but they usually run those sort of like Thursday and Friday nights. So you get loads of kind of random stuff, usually with Caroline Munro in it, I notice. But yeah, just for the pizza and was it for the kebab?
Like a Bacardi all of a sudden.
Yeah, for the post pub generation coming past and just flicking through the channels. But yeah, no, I'll definitely look out for that. That sounds very interesting.
But I've been watching a lot of kind of old British movies, and there's tons of like really really interesting ones you've never heard of. They're like we do turn up on Talking Pictures, so it's kind of worth investigating because there's some cracking movies out there that say, like the one we did before Christmas.
Yeah,
they're films that sort of fall through the cracks because they're not like strictly on point for a genre, but somewhere in between. And
that's good.
Really, really enjoying sort of going on these little finding interesting movies.
Little sojourn into the past. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Nice. I like the sound of that, but I am absolutely terrified of flying, so I'm not entirely sure it's the wisest move.
This one will really shit you up.
Great.
I guarantee
that. That's considering I'm staring down the barrel of a sort of like a small flight sometime in summer. I'm not two flights actually in summer and autumn. I'm not. Yeah, probably shouldn't be watching something like that. But anyway, we'll see.
Well, I think interesting, it's like a military plane. It's a Dakota for any plane spotters out there. But what's interesting is kind of like how very similar it is to a modern day cabin, just less plasticky. But it's the detail of the plane design hasn't changed, even in a military plane. It's the same crappy seats, the same rubbish headrest. There's one that sort of fold round but not far enough. The shitty curtains over the windows that don't draw properly. The air vents, like in little ball sockets.
Oh,
it's
God.
kind of, my God, someone redesigned these shitty planes.
For the love of God.
I was surprised how similar it was to a modern day 21st century airline. It's the same design still.
Oh, God. From the if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind
exactly,
of.
Exactly, it is.
God.
Yeah.
Right, okay. That's not making me feel good. I'm now really not looking forward to flying on a plane or watching this film. Please don't find it, Jim. Don't make me watch it. Please don't make me watch it. I don't have to ask a lot. I mean, I might. I'll watch Tammy.
It's not on streaming. You're safe for now.
No, thank fuck. Right. Anyway, cool. Anything else, sir?
No, I'll leave it at that. My work here is done.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm already not feeling good about that. So that's great. Okay. Well then, over to you then, Elton. How's your week been, sir?
It's been very good. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I've been doing is watching TV.
Mm.
And I have now finished Severance.
Cool.
There's only one season at the moment, so I'm waiting for season 2 desperately because, man, I love that thing.
Mm.
I absolutely adore that. That is, along with Handmaid's Tale, which sounds a bit weird, but I kind of really enjoy the world that they've built there.
Yeah.
I like what they've built and done with what's going on, and it feels maybe it's the sign of a very good TV show, but I feel comforted being there.
I'm not entirely
it's a
sure.
Weird thing, but maybe it's just because I really enjoy it. But I'm very in a comfortable place watching it.
Right.
But Severance, if nobody's watched it, basically you have a life outside of work and you have a life inside work, but never the twain shall meet. You have a chip in your head and you basically switch onto work mode when you go into work and switch back onto outside mode when you go outside.
Yes.
And there's a lot of intrigue and tales and lots of little things, mysteries that go on, and it's just brilliant. I absolutely love that. So
yeah.
I'm desperate to catch season 2 when that drops.
Nice.
I've watched 2 seasons of For All Mankind.
Oh, yes.
And really enjoying that. That's a lot slower. A lot slower than what I thought it would be as well.
Yeah.
But it is very, very good. When he wants to be really good, it is really good. But there are a bit of slow bits in it as well.
Okie dokie.
So, but I've only done 2 seasons of that, and there are 3. So
yes.
I will be doing 3 this week.
Oh, right. You'll be doing season 3 this week. Okay, right. Cool. Okie dokie.
And the last one, Darren, I'm sure you watched this.
Yeah.
The Last of Us.
Oh, God, yes.
Yes.
Well, then I will leave it there.
We can always discuss this when we get to Lee's bit.
Because I haven't really got an awful lot on my week, but yeah, so that'll be it. Okay, well then just let's wait until we get to that. So go on then, Dal, how's your week been then?
Well, I haven't really been out that much. Went out on Sunday, finally got round to going to visit my granddaughter. After being ill over Christmas and not really being able to go and visit them because of that. So we finally got up to go and say hello and like give her Christmas presents, late Christmas presents, and what have you. And it is every time I see Johanna, she develops that bit more. Yeah. And for somebody who's like 1 1/4, she's just a bit too sharp for her own good. Really is, and I love her for it. Just because she's learnt the art of manipulation, right? Of smoke and mirrors, shall we say? Right? Yeah. So, she can actually understand sort of like quite a bit of what you tell her. She's pretty good at directing you to what she wants. Like if she wants something to eat, she'll guide you out into the kitchen, point at the fridge, and then point at her mouth. It's like, this is amazing, how they taught her this and how she's kind of picked this up. But she kept trying to grab hold of these crayons in this thing, and she was trying to put them in her mouth. And I kept saying to her, "Don't do it." She's like, "Oh, okay." And she put the crayons back in the cup, and then she started. I can't remember what she was doing, but she distracted my attention away from the crayons. And every time she did it, I would just turn away for a second, and her hand went straight back in the thing to get the crayon out again. And it's like, "Oh, you little so and so, you this is the art of manipulation. This is you misguiding people to get what you want." Ah, yes, you will go far, little one. You will go far.
Yep,
indeedy. So, a thoroughly good time up there. It was just really, really good to see her and my son and his girlfriend. Or should I say his fiance now?
Okay.
So there we go. Looking forward to a wedding in a couple of years' time.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be good. So getting prepared for that.
Cool. Nice.
But let's see what else I did. The Last of Us.
Yeah.
That's it. Really.
That's it. Is it?
That's just been about it. It's working, the trip, and also The Last of Us.
Right.
I don't think there was anything else.
Okay.
No. Actually.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
I actually started listening to the old Black Dog music again, the stuff we used to do for that.
Yeah.
And I've forgotten most of it.
How
right?
close we got to being kicked off of every platform known to man, yeah?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's just listening back to the songs, it's like listening to them like I've never listened to them before, because I've just completely forgotten what we've written. And some of the stuff we did, I know this is probably a bit sad, but had me almost in tears laughing at it because it caught me so unawares. There's one where Darren Diamond feels like he's just about to have a heart attack, and it suddenly cuts to him going, it just comes such abruptly.
He just falls off the chair, doesn't he?
Yeah, no, he does that. He goes, I'm feeling kind of like that, and it's just my God, we were brilliant.
We were, but then we had a lot more time, and we were a lot more free and easy with run times and schedules.
Indeed.
And obviously with the with the morality of certain lyrics.
Indeed, which we've learned now we're better human beings because of it.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. There's certainly lyrics that I think if we wrote them the same way as we did back then.
Oh no, we can't. No, mate. No.
No.
I've listened to those songs a couple of times now. It's like, oh yeah, there's things we need to change there if we're ever going to do these again.
Yeah.
Rewrites.
Well,
definitely rewrites.
And if anybody wants to hear these songs, they're over. They're hosted up on the Facebook group.
Yeah.
Posted at the top in the feature section. You can download them and have a listen to them and listen to the glory days when we really didn't give much of a shit about our work careers, our online presence, and generally good taste.
Yes, let's be edgelord. Let's be edgelord.
Edgelord is definitely one. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, no.
So there we go. That's basically it.
Cheadle's a War Machine, still my favourite.
Oh God, yes.
Anyway, right. Cool. Well, I mean, my week. Very, 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 very briefly, I tried playing a game called Subnautica, which is basically Minecraft underwater with some which has some major Lovecraftian elements which scare the shit out of me.
You as well, because man, tell me about it. The deeper you go, the scarier shit gets.
The worse it gets. Yes.
Yeah.
So
try playing it okay at night with all the lights off in the living room with your shit. I had my laptop hooked up to the TV because basically the stuff off the laptop was better graphics than the one off the Xbox. So I went a bit too deep on the, if you pardon the expression.
Yeah. Oh, good Lord! Hold on, there you go.
Yeah, there we go.
Take your Sid and fuck off. Yeah, go on.
Oh man, just when you because I managed to get the large submarine, right? I built the large.
No spoilers.
One.
I've not played it. I've not played it more than like 2 hours. That was enough for me.
Well, you'll see as you go up, you'll notice that there are plans for certain things, and I went off with this thing, and while it's a very handy craft to have, it's not exactly the swiftest.
Mm.
and then you start hearing the sonar go. And it's like, what the fuck is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah.
soon find out.
Yeah, I can imagine. Because
Yep.
it's bad enough just going underwater and down as deep as I go. But yeah.
Oh no, mate! It's it gets it. I don't know what the furthest depth is you can go on that planet, but you best get all the really good equipment together.
Wow. I'll be honest, I played maybe half hour of that game, and I didn't have a clue what to do.
No, it doesn't. That's the one thing I was going to say. I mean, I don't want to turn it into a game podcast, but it isn't a game that holds your hand, and it is one of those things where it rewards you just playing about and pissing about with things, but also rather frustratingly, it kind of limits you by the amount of shit that you can do and how much it's going to tell you, and you not being able to go underwater for very long. So it's kind of.
It does deal with all that later on. Trust me.
I mean,
it gets better once you start getting the sort of like
the
stuff
kit
that deals with that, right?
But it does, But it does remind me much of was it The Forest that Elton was talking about a while back?
God, yes.
So, but underwater.
And
but,
it is scary on those precipices when you're like you can't see
the bottom
at all. It's just inky blackness.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yep.
Oh, no, hold on. Have we found something for Jim? See, there you go. If I have to watch that film about that horrible plane thing, I'm just going to make you watch some underwater deep dive thing. I'll have to find something like Subnautica the movie. Yeah, but other than that. And other than the rather nice wine that I am continuing to drink, and I'm very sorry about that, is The Last of Us. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. First off, who's played the game?
I have.
Have you completed the game?
No. I'm gonna dust down the PS3 that we've got in the cupboard, and I've got a copy of it on that, and I'm just gonna sit and continue playing it on that. Right. I might have to ask for some technical advice from Elton about fixing a PS3, because I know you've done them in the past, sir.
I have, yes.
Okay.
Indeed. Mine has a little problem where you have to actually turn the thing upside down to get the disc to play properly.
Well, the easiest thing at this point is go to Computer Exchange and buy a PS3 for about 10 quid.
I suppose I could do that, but then, why? I've got one sitting there. Let's just fix it for nothing.
All right, fair enough. Cool. What about you, Elton? Have you?
I have. I've attempted to play it 3 or 4 times, and each time I've played it, my hard drive on my PS3 has crashed.
Right.
And it's around about the similar sort of time where I think we get into a building which is on the wonk a little bit, and we find stuff and it scares you, and then my hard drive crashes. I don't know why, but I just haven't got any further. It's a game I really do want to play. I've got it on... Okay. I've got the remastered on PS4 ready to go. I've started playing it again, but you know what it's like when you've played the same level 100 times and you haven't got any further.
That's what stopped me from finishing Last of Us 2, but we'll get to that one other day. Jim, just one last thing. Have you played Last of Us?
No, I've not.
Have you watched the show?
Nope.
Okay, so just got to step around some spoilers then. Okay, fine. Right, first off, I've played the first game, I've finished the first game, and yeah. And then I watched this show. I've got to say, and Darren, Elton, feel free to jump in on this. Mm-hmm. I think this is the fucking gold standard for any adaptation of any video game ever.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
If you're going to look at like things like The Witcher or fucking Halo or Assassin's Creed or the Tomb Raider games or a Tomb Raider thing or that stupid adaptation of Uncharted or Oh God, you name it. You pick a game.
Any UE Bowl version.
Any UE Bowl game, yeah, exactly. Yeah, film, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone who thinks that they can make a game adaptation, and then immediately discard 90% of it to tell their own story and just stick the brand name on it and some brand recognition shit on it,
Yeah.
should be locked in a fucking room and made to watch this show, first episode, and play the first the first 30 minutes of the game and then watch this show, because that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, I think one of the first shots, and this is no way a spoiler, this is the loading screen on The Last of Us. It's that fluttery curtain.
Yeah.
And you get that shot. And I was Leonardo going,
yeah.
There's that thing.
Well, the opening of the show and the opening of the game are pretty much identical. There are a couple of bits they expand upon.
Yeah.
Because you've got to. You can't just jump into the action. So they add a couple of extra little bits at the beginning, and they kind of fill out a little bit of backstory on the certain characters. But the stuff they're putting in is not extra. It's not what I call the new writer coming in and going, "Oh no, Judge Dredd can't wear a helmet." It's literally just the writer of the game coming in and going, "This is what I would have done if I had the graphics and the resources to do it."
Yeah.
And I mean, I literally sat there like, I've got problems with the game, but I never had problems with the story or how it progressed, and I literally felt like I was watching someone play the game.
Yeah.
I recognised every single sequence in that episode.
There is a very there are a couple of channels that I watch on YouTube that two in particular that do breakdowns of things like, this is what is, Easter eggs and stuff like that, and they're very, very good at what they do. And I watched one today with this where he was like, okay, so we got the first episode here, and you saw this, and this is what this means, and this is what this is, and if you look at the game, this is what this is here, and this part is almost identical, la 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 la. It is amazing. Even the bits that they change slightly, right? He even gives a link what is significant about these changes, because the changes are they deal with, it's not just a throwaway. They're not just put in there for. There's some of the changes in there, like a symbol of something that is seen by someone at the start of the game is used in another scene that's not in the game by someone else to link that character to the start of that game. And
I think the thing that it's doing very well is it's walking a fine line between the people like me and you guys sort of doing the Leonardo thing of kind of like the click, click, click fingers pointing at the screen. I recognized that. Yeah. I clapped. I recognized the thing and I clapped. It broke new ground. But also what it's doing is it's assuming that nobody knows how this game plays out. Nobody knows the story. Because the bits that they fill in, the bits they bulk out are just they're just TV tropes to make you care about certain characters in certain ways and give you slightly more subtle hints that something's going on. There's the bit in the background.
Oh God, yes.
That's what I'm saying. That bit in the background,
creepy as fuck.
Yeah, and there's some embellishments on the actual, shall we say, the antagonists. There's been some, and it's really nice little additional bit.
Have you heard about the comical one that they've done? They've applied realism to something. Okay, the guy who's writing the show or running it has said Joel won't be crouching down, sneaking around so much because 55-year-olds can only crouch down for 3 minutes at a time, and that is an aspect of his character in the show. It's like, oh my God. Yes, I'm getting near 55 myself. I can agree. 3 minutes is about tops.
Yeah.
Before joints start seizing up.
It's the old Solid Snake version, isn't it?
Yeah, he's going to hide under a box with an exclamation mark going, bling! But yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. If this is an indicator of how it's going to go, I have no way, there's nothing hyperbolous about the fact that I'm just going to say that I think this is the absolute pinnacle of video game storytelling adaptation.
Even if it's just the good stuff is just in this one episode, we've had a prime example of what it is, as you say.
I mean, I've seen the trailer. I've seen the trailer for the coming episodes, and there is so much stuff. I'm just sitting there going, "Oh yeah, that's that bit," and "Oh yeah, that's that bit," and "Yep, that's that bit." It's, there's so much of it. I'm already just ticking off. Oh, we're going to get to that bit there, and we're going to get to that bit there, and it's not. I know it sounds weird that there's no surprises, but that's actually the surprise, that I want to see a film, a video game which is so narratively driven, suddenly turned into a proper big show and given such a loving adaptation that you're sitting there going, "Yeah, you can do it, see?" And I said somewhere else, I think on one of the Reddit forums for one of the video games that I like, that if video game adaptations just need that Iron Man moment. They just need that one thing to be good enough that breaks out by being authentic, and then you'll get more, and there'll be lots more. And there are so many video games with really good stories that just need that little
ignore
spark.
the stories, don't they? And they just try to make it like a video game. Right, Doom, I'm looking at you with your first-person perspective fucking scene in it.
Well, I watched the Uncharted film a couple of weeks back over Christmas, and I didn't really mention it on the podcast because it isn't worth mentioning because it's forgotten as soon as it's forgotten. And it's just like they have certain scenes in it, like from Uncharted 3 with like hanging off the crates out the back of the car, out the back of the C-130 rather.
Yeah.
And there's bits like that, and you go, "Oh yeah, look, there's that bit." But you've got, Nathan Drake replaced by Tom Holland, who is about like a third of Nathan Drake's age, and fucking Mark Wahlberg, who looks nothing like the other character Sully, and acts nothing like him. And it's
sell out your mother for me.
Exactly, and it might as well just be called Marky Mark, and his young apprentice having adventures pretending to be Indiana Jones. I mean, it's got nothing to do with Uncharted or anything like that at all. And and the same with Witcher, and the same with Assassin's Creed. Or the what's her face? I can't remember her name now. Not the Tomb Raider, last Tomb Raider. The last Tomb Raider with what's her face?
Knockers of Darkness.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. You might as well be called that because it has literally no bearing on any of the games whatsoever. It might as well just be called.
She's bike messenger. Oh,
yeah, she's a bike messenger. Why?
The long neck of the law.
No, she's not.
Yeah,
not a bike messenger.
Lara Croft giraffe neck. I mean, it's just like it's just. Don't do that. If you're going to make a game of something, make a game of some. If you're going to make a film of a game, make a film of a game. Just don't do this bollocks of looking down on it. And that's the one bit I was just kind of. I'm so glad that they've done with Last of Us, because if they'd fucked that up, we'd be into another dark age of endless kind of Netflix brings out another fucking 600 animated adaptations which have no bearing but do have an IP that they've nicked. I mean, it just no. This is it. This should be held up. And I really hope it does well. I really do.
Oh, it's been getting nothing but rave reviews.
Yeah, but rave reviews from gamers, because I mean, let's be honest, the Last of Us community is in terms of toxicity is probably somewhere up there between sort of Star Wars fans and Star Trek fans. It's like you don't step in there with an opinion and expect to come out without someone throwing something at you. So, I want Joe Public to find this. Not just people who've played the game and go, "Oh yeah, I like the look of these zombies" or something. I want people like my mum to look at it and go, "Ooh, I want to watch that," and it to be good enough that it becomes cultural. Because as soon as that happens, that's when we'll get a new renaissance, and that's when superheroes will go by the wayside, just like westerns did, and just like 80s action movies did. We'll get a new phase, and there's so much good stuff out there. It just needs adapting properly, and I just think, oh, come on, you're almost there.
About video game adaptations. Yeah, I mean, I had a perfect example of how much people kind of look down on those things. I was trying to I mentioned The Last of Us to someone in work, right?
Mm.
And she was like, "Oh, okay, so what is it?" And Cassandra, her name, she's very much into watching a lot of things like Game of Thrones and stuff like this. And I said, "Oh, it's based on a video game." And she just went, "Oh, God, no." And I had to kind of just pull her back from the brink. And I said, "No, give it a chance. Just have a watch.
But that's
Do
the
yourself
thing.
a favour."
It's an understandable reaction. I mean,
It is, very much so.
How many of the video games have actually been really any good?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a few that have been passable. Well, the Angelina Jolie Tomb Raiders have been awful. Not like Super Mario Brothers.
God, yeah.
Tetris the movie or shit like that. But
Yeah, Pixels or whatever.
There's been so few, and they've been doing quite a while now.
Yeah.
With a very bad track record. I mean, I think the Silent Hill, I thought that was decent.
Yeah, and then they brought out a sequel, which was bloody awful.
Yes, squandered the goodwill just like that.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I agree. I think, you can understand why people just go, "Oh, fuck," as soon as you say a video game, because what it elicits the thought that you're going to have mad obsessives, like we all are in our own particular way, kind of going off on one, going, "No, you haven't quite got the shirt right."
I don't think that's what they're thinking. General Joe
I think
Public
this is
thinking,
going to be a poor
these are
movie."
shit.
Yeah.
They're shit. So,
Well, yeah, but they wouldn't be
that's-
wrong either, would they? That's the thing.
No, that's the problem.
they wouldn't.
And that's the thing. We're in that sort of position with the video game adaptations that superheroes were in the mid '90s until
you had the blip of the first couple of Superman movies.
Yep.
And the first couple of Batman movies, and then they were just fumbling the ball really badly.
That's right. Until Spider-Man and Spider-Man and the X-Men films. But yeah, but in the meantime, who remembers Steel? Who remembers Spawn? Who remembers
I do,
countless...
unfortunately.
Oh, God, yeah. I'm terribly sorry about that.
I remember Spawn. I am smiling. Oh, no, sorry, it's Black Dynamite, isn't it? Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing I remember about Spawn was, poor old Martin Sheen trying to be a bad guy and looking like a man who's staring at a tennis ball on an end of a stick. That's all I remember. That was disappointing. But that's the thing. You've got to have that lull, and then suddenly you just need that spark. And I'm really hoping this is it. I'm really, really, I'm willing it to be right, because then I'll get my fucking Mass Effect TV show. It's gonna happen. But if it happens before this, it'll be Halo, and I don't want Halo. I don't care how many people justify that bollocks. I
don't need that.
No,
that was a shit TV show. It really was.
It was
good for the first.
At least it didn't have Lionel
5
Richie
minutes.
doing the theme tune.
Didn't have what? Sorry,
Lionel Richie doing the theme tune.
Hello. It's me.
He wrote about the game. Honestly, he did.
Why does it have
Is
the
it me you're looking for? See, it's a quest.
Yeah, and then the end titles was the theme from MasterChef, as opposed to thanks to a typo. Anyway, so for those who are interested, Last of Us is on Sky Atlantic, Now TV, and over in the States it's on HBO Max. Just if you've got any interest in it at all, check it out, because it's either going to stay as good as it is right now, or it's going to go downhill so quickly that you want to be on the ride at the start while we're all still enjoying it. He said in a horribly cynical fashion. Right, okay. Well, that's it, really. I don't think we had any feedback for last week's episode. I'd be very surprised if we did. But let me just check. Man checking everything. Oh, we had a whole hoo-ha on the feedback from... Oh, we had a few people watching The Menu based on our comments from the other day. We had Martin Thompson saying, having watched The Menu, is it fair to say that there are some elements of folk horror, maybe even Midsommar, about it? Oh, I don't want to say anything, unfortunately. It's one of those films that...
I'll step into that one.
Go on in.
Spoiler free.
Go on.
I must admit, in the opening act, with certain things about the setting, and shall we say, sourcing, and kind of the look of the place, I was kind of expecting maybe a bit of folk horror elements. But the way it played out, I would say it's probably closer to, weirdly, it reminded me of both Peter Greenaway films and certain Vincent Price movies.
Yeah.
But, I mean, genre-wise, I think it's more kind of in what's loosely called kind of like a hauntological genre, along with the movies of Peter Strickland, in particular Fabric.
In Fabric, yes.
And, not Bearing a Sound Studio.
Barbarian.
Barbarian.
Yeah. Which is a film that I watched way too late in the evening, and I really need to watch that again, because that was a very odd film. That was a very odd film.
In Fabric is even stranger and more.
Yeah.
But I think that's very close to The Menu, because that's kind of about fashion and consumerism and how it's bought and sold and the effect it has on people.
Yeah. Cool.
And that's very close to The Menu. Although probably not as accessible as The Menu.
No. Well, I was going to say, Barbarian Sound Studio takes no prisoners in terms of the weird factor. So you either on board or you're not with that one. But it does have Toby Jones going mad while smashing a melon.
Yeah.
So make of that what you will. So that was Martin Thompson asking that. We also had Odile trying to work out what film we were talking about last week. Which was on Amazon Prime, and it was the film I was watching, which was The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, which was the film that made me want to go and apologise to my kids for making them watch films that they didn't want to watch. We also had Chris Johnson saying, if you ever need another worst movie, need the worst movie I've ever found, just let me know. Because obviously he was one of the people pushing us towards Tammy and the T-Rex, to which I implored him to sort of not do that, because, frankly, nobody needs that kind of horror in their life. But yeah, we've had a few people watching The Menu, so we might, one day that might actually come up on our list. I'd be very surprised if it didn't, because it is worth a chat, definitely.
Yes, I watched it the weekend. Really, really enjoyed it.
That's good.
I thought that was a very, very good movie. Early contender for best film of the year.
Yeah, definitely. I really, really enjoyed it. So, but we've done that one last week, so I'll leave it there. If anybody does want to send any feedback in, whether it's for this episode, last episode, several episodes back, by all means, send them in to us on the email, which is feedback@blackdogpodcast.com, or jump on the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/the Black Dog Podcast, and just leave a message on there for us. I would say Mastodon, but for reasons that I can't be bothered to go into right now. I'm just seem to be right off of social media right at the moment. But yeah, you can do that if you like, and we'll pick it up. Anyway, right, we're going to leave it there. I'm going to recharge my glass because we are going to need some wine to watch fucking Tammy and the T-Rex. Roll the jingle.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Yes, in the own way. Tammy and the T-Rex, also known as Tanny and the T-Rex, depending on what version you watched, is a 1994 American, now, quotes, science fiction, quotes, horror, quotes, comedy film directed by Stuart Raffill and written by Raffill and Gary Brockett. The film, which stars Terry Kaiser, Ellen Dubin, Denise Richards, Paul Walker, John Franklin and George Pilgrim, centers on the high school student named Tammy, whose boyfriend, Michael, played by Paul Walker, has his brain implanted into the body of a robotic Tyrannosaurus Rex by a mad scientist. That's it. There you go. Right there.
Yep.
There is no budget listed. There is no money incoming from box office. There was two versions. That's the only thing we know. There was two versions. One was an R-rated version, which was full of gore, which was known as Tanny and the T-Rex because the titles were completely changed. And then there's Tammy and the T-Rex, which was slightly cut down and was cut for gore and sexual violence by 8 minutes. There you go. So that's it. I can't even ask you how much you think it made because there's nothing. There's no information, zero information. The information is bereft of life. It is ceased to be. There is no more. It has gone to join the choir invisible. So, yeah, can I start off by just going around the table? How many of us actually have seen this before or even heard of it?
Never.
Never.
Apart from on that video game I played, that's the
High
only
on
time I've
Life.
ever heard of it. High on Life.
Oh, it's
I'd
your
seen
fault,
it at
isn't
all.
it? I forgot, yes.
Yeah.
I had heard of it because of our friends at the often mentioned Red Letter Media had done a review of it about 8 or 9 years ago. And so it was on my radar peripherally from that. What about you, Jim?
I'd heard of it, but never seen it.
And Elton?
I'd only heard of it because you guys bang on about it constantly.
Bang on about it constantly.
Yeah,
What?
every time we were in the green room, all the time. Oh, have you seen this yet? No, I haven't. No. Have you seen it?
yeah.
Why haven't you seen it? I've seen it 4 times
This is
this
the
week.
gold standard of
Bollocks.
robotic TV, robotic T-Rex movies. It is.
Do you know what? I sit there with my entire collection of robotic T-Rex movies and I think if only any of this stuff was as good as Tammy and the T-Rex. Right, okay then. Let's just very quickly go around the table before we dissect it, so to speak. So let's start with you, Elton. What did you think of Tammy and the T-Rex?
What did I think of it? That's it's a very easy answer, but also a very difficult one as well, because there were moments where I had fun with it, but overall, once again, I can't work out whether it's meant to be so bad it's good. But I had fun with it in parts, but it really didn't know what it wanted to be. I couldn't work out whether it wanted to be a comedy or whether it wanted to be slightly serious. or not, but there were some fucking funny moments.
Okay.
Unintentionally.
Oh no!
Live. Oh well, that's that then.
The bit that got me was when they're holding up the bodies to the window, and the fucking T-Rex just waves.
Oh god, we'll get to that bit. I think we are going to have to do a blow by blow on this one. I think. Jesus Christ, the fucking T-Rex standing outside of a truck, sizing up his various bodies. And Jim, while Elton has a complete breakdown, what did you think of it?
First thing, it actually had better production values than I was expecting. Bear in mind, I spent a good point of the Christmas break, and indeed still have, watching the best of the worst on Red Letter Media. So I had a very low bar for it to get over.
Yeah.
But it's kind of, actually, this is quite well made in a weird sort of way. But I can't decide whether I love it or I hate it. It's I just honestly do not know what to make of this movie. But we always say the biggest crime a movie can say is bore you, and this did not bore me.
Yeah, that's
never
very
knew
true.
what the fuck was coming next.
Yes. Okay, that's cool. That's very true. Darren, what about you?
Oh, it was fucking abysmal, wasn't it? Honestly, it's like Jurassic Park had never happened.
Well,
with the so I'm pretty sure this came out well after Jurassic Park came out
the year after.
The year
did
after.
it?
It came out in 94. Jurassic Park came out in 93.
So there's no excuse.
No, there is absolutely no excuse.
So we can judge this for its
special effects. Yes, we certainly fucking well can.
Let's call them effects, shall we? Because there was really nothing special about them, right? I mean, come on, nothing special about them. I mean, Jesus Christ, mate. Me and you could have done better with a fucking cine camera and a packet of fucking dinosaurs from a McDonald's Happy Meal, right?
Oh, come on. You weren't taken by the majestic Denise Richards riding on the back of a dinosaur scene across a lake from a mile away.
What, with the slightly racist police officers going, that girl can ride.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, sure, mate. Dirty old git. Would you like me to hit her for you, sir? Oh, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
How do you know she's been with him? Have you seen the way she walks? Oh, my God. Anyway, carry on.
Fucking hell, fire. Really?
Oh, man. Mm-hmm. Carry on.
Yeah. A pile of old shit, really. It's the sort of like the slap fight that the two blokes have, just slapping one another. Like fucking 4-year-olds do in the playground. Oh yeah, you need to be really scared of this bloke. Do I? Do I really need to be scared of this bloke? Well, we've got to further the plot along. Oh, I see. Okay then. No, just totally unconvinced by the bad guy or supposed bad guy.
Well, I mean, I was kind of shocked he lasted as long as he did, to be honest. But anyway. Okay. So you weren't impressed then?
Oh, I was well impressed. No, I was well impressed.
Right.
I was impressed that I'd actually let this pass my fucking eyeballs.
Well, you've only yourself to blame, let's be honest.
Well, I suppose I mentioned it, didn't I?
You did. It was your fault. But, yeah.
I did want to go around punching things. That's what I remember.
Nice.
just like,
kicking cats.
Have that Roy Batty moment where I stick a 6-inch nail through the palm of my hand.
Just to make it through to the end.
Exactly. just to help me.
Nice.
I've seen things you people would never believe. A young man getting his brain scooped out of his skull and put inside a robotic T-Rex. All those moments lost in the rain. Or lost like tears in the rain.
Yes.
Or tears from my face as I'm sitting here watching this fucking abysmal pile of old shit.
All those moments lost over there. Somewhere.
Down the back of the sofa, I think. I'm not quite sure. I was incredibly drunk at the time.
Like a budget down the drain. Time to die.
I've seen things you wouldn't believe. A Tesco's trolley with the pound still left in.
Right. Okay. I have to say, for me, I was kind of, like I say, pre-prepped by vague memories of, as we said, Red Letter Media from about 9 years ago now. So I kind of knew what was coming, but boy, oh boy, I wasn't ready for it all in one big long stream of piss in my eyes. Everything about it was piss poor, but I mean, I'm kind of with you, Jim, and you, Elton. I couldn't work out whether or not it was deliberately done. It was the tone. I couldn't work out if it was deliberately supposed to be a horror film done badly, or meant to be a comedy film that done badly, or that they got halfway through and then suddenly just changed their mind on what they thought it was going to be. It's like, this is so hilariously fucking awful. Let's just pretend we always meant it to be a comedy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That sort of get out of jail free bollocks, sort of.
It's the Tommy Wiseau effect.
Yeah, well, exactly. But the thing with Tommy Wiseau is at least he turned around and he was kind of earnest about the whole thing. He was like, this is my greatest achievement. And the hilariousness about The Room is the fact that he's the only person not in on the gag. The person who makes it thinks he's making fucking, I don't know, Citizen Kane, and everyone else is watching him making Citizen Smith. And, whereas...
Very good.
Thank you. Whereas we're watching this Tammy and the T-Rex, and all the way through it, I'm thinking, this is deliberately stupid. This is being deliberately stupid. And then there's other times when I'm sitting there going, no, this is clearly cheap as fucking chips, and they're making a lot of cock-ups, and they're just trying to blast through this filming as quickly as possible. So I couldn't really get a handle on whether or not I hated it for being a shitty made horror film, or I loved it for being a shitty made horror film, or I hated it for being a comedy retrospectively, where they sort of went, yeah, it's a comedy, honestly, Gov. Look, we were having a laugh with you all along. Ha ha, we're doing this ironically. That Sharknado thing.
It's like Monday they came on set and, right, okay, this is horror bit, isn't it? So let's make it really, really horror.
I think it should be mentioned that we did watch the horror version. We did watch the longer version.
Yes, it's the Vinegar Syndrome restored cut.
Yes, yeah, because it came up Tanny and the T-Rex and the titles, whereas the one on the Internet Archive is Tammy and the T-Rex, which is the shorter version.
Oh God, I think I started watching the archive version, and then watched the last 20 minutes on our version. So have I spliced something there?
I think you have. You've done your own mad science experiment.
Yeah, you might have done your own Tammy and the T-Rex with Tammy and the T-Rex.
Because I think the gore factor is there right from the start in the Vinegar Syndrome cut.
Yes, which is an unfortunate title, isn't it? Vinegar Syndrome.
It is. But I think they were deliberately trying to make kind of like a crazy cult comedy. I think what they weren't sure, it was like just threw everything at the wall and hoped it sort of stuck.
Yeah,
it kind of didn't. Some of it does work on those sort of terms, that there are bits that are really just funny and ridiculous, and obviously this premise is funny and ridiculous. But I think the thing is kind of, comedy is all about timing, and when it comes to movies, it's about how you edit your jokes together.
Yeah,
and also having kind of, I think what got me about this was kind of just the way the tone was fluctuating.
Yeah.
From like, particularly the two like redneck sheriff deputies. It's kind of, I am fine with them being homophobic and racist and blah, blah, blah. I can live with that, but it doesn't pay off because I thought they were being set up as characters for the T-Rex to munch in Act 3.
Yeah.
But so they had no comeuppance for being horrible. And so you just essentially had some very low rent jokes thrown in for no reason.
Yeah. That
felt really mean spirited compared to, I mean, it sounds weird to say, but compared to the rest of the film, you know what I mean? They were kind of like, what? No, that's kind of, that's a joke for, being scrawled on a desk by naughty boys. That's no place in a movie unless those characters are, you're making them horrible to kill them later. Exactly. And there's going to be like a payoff for them being bastards like that and being so crass and horrible.
Which in every frat house comedy since the late 70s, there's always those horrible people who are deliberately the shittiest people on earth, and they always get that comeuppance, don't they?
Yes, yeah.
They always get that sort of like one moment of suddenly finding themselves, I don't know, in the fucking Blue Oyster Bar, or that sort of thing, or be, there's always a kind of ironic comeuppance,
Yes, yeah. There's always that kind of, there you go, serves you right. Just don't be a horrible person.
Yeah, exactly. Or was it Clarence Beeks in Trading Places who ends up with the slightly horny gorilla? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So you always get that comeuppance, but it never happened here.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Yeah.
No. I was going to go to you, Dal, because you were the one having the most vehement response. And did you find any comedy in it, or did you just think this is shit and I'm wasting my time?
The only redeeming feature about this film, right, is Terry Kaiser, right, who played the doctor, the mad doctor, because he knew what was going on there and he was just having a fucking laugh with it.
He was also Bernie in Weekend at Bernie's.
He was, yes, he was.
I spent the entire film trying to work out where I'd seen him before, and it was only when he had the dark glasses, and I went, "Oh, he's the dead body."
Yeah, that's the one. But he's like, you know what? I've got a shortfall in my pension. This will do just nicely. Fuck it, why not? And my career is like I've done most of my career now, so I don't really care. I'm just going to do this movie and have a bit of a giggle,
like Raul Julia in Street Fighter.
Yeah, exactly. Right, he didn't give a shit, and this bloke doesn't either. He's doing it plainly for laughs, and for me, that was fine.
Yeah.
So really, he's the best thing in this film.
Okay.
Best thing in this film.
Okay, so right. Do we go through this bit by bit? Does that help, do you think?
It can't hurt.
It can't hurt.
Okay. Therapy.
Yeah, it might need therapy.
Do you know what? I'm already going to be having a shower with a wire brush and Dettol after we've talked about this film anyway. So, what the fuck?
Okay. Well, I mean, it's only going to be like just sort of general bits because, I mean, I've got some notes down here on my phone, but
yeah.
But basically, I mean, first off, it starts off with the whole thing about the cheerleaders, right? In
one of which was clearly 38 and the choreographer. Did you spot that?
Yep. Yes, exactly. And it was quite interesting, that whole cheerleading sequence right at the very start. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, spoilers all the way. So just, I would say go and watch this, but you'd have to pay money to Amazon to watch it. So just don't.
Yeah, don't do that.
Just go on the archive.org, which we linked in on the Facebook group. But God have mercy on your soul. But yeah, so it starts off with the cheerleading sequence, and it's really funny because it's like so clearly like, oh, we got Denise Richards, and she's the important one. How do you know? Because she's the one with her boobs out, wearing the tightest lycra you could possibly imagine, while everyone else looks like they've just sort of fallen out of mum's dressing up closet at the age of 8. and it kind of starts a theme that seems to go all the way through, which is that if they get a chance to put Denise Richards in some kind of mad sexy clothing, even when she's in mourning, they do.
What surprised me, this was made in the 90s, because the the fashions are kind of what I'd call mid-80s Madonna slut.
Oh, they are, aren't they?
Yeah.
The floppy hat, the laundry on the outside, the lace gloves.
Desperately
that
Seeking
whole,
Susan thing, yeah.
It was really kind of quite bizarre, because it was kind of, all right, it's a 90s movie. In some ways, it's so 80s.
Yeah, the sort of floppy
floppy hat, yeah.
I was going to say the Ermintrude hat.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
But
did anybody have an overly bright red lipstick on?
I don't know.
Who didn't?
Applied with a
T-Rex
trowel.
did.
Yeah, the T-Rex was well sorted for the red lipstick. But
Yeah.
But the thing is, it goes from that sequence straight into Paul Walker walking in, and he's kind of done. You're kind of given this kind of impression that he's like one of the American football players and the school, for the university. So obviously he's a jock. He's a guy who's all buffed up. He walks in, kisses her. They have like this most perfunctory of conversations. I mean, and I do mean like perfunctory. It literally is just, "Hi, how are you? I'm fine. How was the football game? That's good. Let's go outside."
It's just repeating names. "Hi, Tammy." "Oh, hi, Michael. How are you today?" "I'm fine, Tammy. And you?" "Well, Michael. I'm glad you asked."
Yeah, and they go outside. And then all of a sudden there's just this really weird sequence where she opens up her bag, finds a yellow rose, Chekhov's rose, we'll call it.
Yes.
Chekhov's rose, and she immediately goes, "Oh, I can't do this." And it's just like, what? And it causes him to eat the rose. And at that point, my brain was already doing backflips. Like, what the fuck am I watching? Because I don't understand what any of this conversation is about.
It was like it was translated from another language.
Yeah, I tell you what it reminded me of. It reminded me of the bit in The Room where Tommy Wiseau's mum is sitting there talking to Tommy Wiseau's girlfriend, and then she's sitting there and she's going, "Oh, how are you? Getting ready for the wedding? Blah 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 blah. Anyway, I've got cancer. I'll see you later." And it's just like, you just kind of go, what? And that's where I can't get the handle on it. It was just like, what the fuck is this? And then they go, and then the boy, the friend, Franklin, or no, Bruno, was it Bruno? Byron, there you go. He turns up.
The two for token character.
Oh yeah, exactly.
We call him a Glay or a Glack. There's been black token gay.
Yeah, exactly. It couldn't be more bloody obvious. And he turns up, and he goes, "Oh, so this is Michael." Like, and Denise Richards is like, "Yeah, this is Michael. This is my new boyfriend." And straight away, you're like, well, hang on, wasn't there some sort of relationship problem because of the rose 5 seconds ago? Is there something she can't do because of the rose? And then Byron just goes, "I'm off now, bye." And then Paul Walker just goes, "Oh yeah, everyone knows about Byron." And it's just like, there was just so much crap just thrown out in the first 5 minutes there. I'm just sitting there going, so Byron, everyone knows Byron. Byron doesn't know who this guy is. Paul Walker's eating a rose.
This is clearly done the homework on the bus syndrome, isn't it?
It is. The whole thing feels like it's been written in about a week. And Paul Walker's going, Everyone knows about Byron. Tammy goes, "Oh, I can't have a relationship with you because of the fucking rose." He eats the rose, and then they're talking about, "Oh, this is my boyfriend, Michael." It's like, what? It just garbage. You're just sitting there going, I'm 5 minutes in and I don't know what's happening or who's related to who in what way.
And then it throws this other weird thing where you have the bully guy, the boyfriend. I forget his name now, but
Billy.
or is it Billy?
Mm.
And he rocks up, and every high school thing that you've ever seen, the jock is always the bully.
Mm.
And Paul Walker is playing this jock who's supposed to be like this football person, and you naturally think he's top of the pecking order. And then the bully turns up who's wearing the black T-shirt and jumps out of a convertible, and you think, I don't know where I am. Where's the map? Normally you have a map that guides you, and you normally know the social peckings of American high schools. And then this, it just doesn't fit the norm at all.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Dal?
I said it's like, as Elton's describing him there, he left out the one thing, which was the Bee Gees hairstyle that he had. So, it could almost be like he would talk like this. Why are you touching my girlfriend?
Yeah. Well, I can tell by the way you touch my girl that you're... Anyway, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
No.
So then it turns into the most...
A ball squeezing contest.
Yeah, a ball squeezing contest.
But then again, it wasn't even that, was it?
No.
Because Paul ran a fucking cup on.
Yeah. It's like you're standing there having this fight, and they're having this fight, and it ultimately resolves to Paul Walker having this bloke by the nuts, this bloke having Paul Walker by the nuts, and then if the police come and take Billy the bully away, the policeman asks Paul Walker, and Paul Walker goes, "Oh no, I've got a cup." In which case, why were they both standing there going, "Ah," holding each other's nuts?
For me, it was all getting a bit Nightmare on Elm Street 2. It's a very famous. You watch it now, it's kind of someone was having a massive laugh at that movie. With the homoerotic subtext. I'm like, are you going for that? That's what it reminded me of
homoerotic subtext. You mean more like in the sort of Garth Marenghi style? You know, people who like subtext are cowards. You know,
it's a bit like that, yeah.
There's no subtext here.
But it was kind of like with the big bouffant hair they both have, and then they stood there, their idea of a fight is squeezing each other's balls. I thought, is something having a laugh here?
Yeah. And neither will let go of the other one until they both count to 3. It was just like,
until they've got 2 burly men stood behind them and grabbing the shoulders.
Yeah, in uniform.
Draw your own conclusions. You know, jury rests, Your Honour.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus, I need more wine.
It was really strange.
Did anyone notice in that ball grabbing contest, right? The way there was a moment where Paul Walker's hand came off of his penis, and so he reached again for it.
He went for the double squeeze.
He went, "Oh, hang on, I've come off. Let me grab it again."
It's what's called method ball grabbing, I believe.
Yeah, they teach that at Juilliard. Yeah, that's yeah, that was there was definitely method ball grabbing there. It was what made Paul Walker the actor he is today. That kind of attention to detail. And then we go from that fight where to this mad scientist. Well, actually, go to someone who looks like we couldn't afford Toby Jones, or Deep Roy. So we get this guy turn up who's up in a control tower controlling an animatronic dinosaur.
Yep. Whose voice seems to get squeakier and squeakier as it goes on.
And again, it took me a while to figure out who it was, but that was Caleb from Children of the Corn.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Exactly. It took me a while. I was sitting there thinking, I've seen him before. And then I ended up giving up and I sort of Googled him. And it was just like, that's the main kid from fucking Children of the Corn. And he still looks like a small kid, a small Amish kid. he's just they put him in a nice grown up lab costume, and then Bernie's Weekend at Bernie's rocks up and starts molesting the dinosaur.
I want to see his teeth. I want to see him roar. Let me see his eyes.
At this point, I think my brain actually checked out. I mean, we're literally 10, 15 minutes in, and I don't know what the fuck.
It's still trying to establish itself at this point, and
establish itself. Wow.
I know. It's a big stretch, isn't it? But it's trying to. I don't know. It's trying to go into that this sci-fi type thing where if you want like a cult movie, then you go into there because that's the direction that you need to go. Get the nerds on your back. That's the way to get them on.
Well, it depends on what you want them on your back for, really. I mean, there's more Pornhub stuff coming.
Yeah.
Well, if you want the nerds in, you then show something futuristic or robot, and then you show boobs after.
Yeah, which came in the shape of Weekend at Bernie's assistant. Who
Helga. Is it Helga?
Helga, yes.
That lanky bitch, as she's called at one stage in the
I
script.
can't believe that. That's Doctor and Lanky Bitch again.
Doctor and Lanky Bitch.
Ellen Dubbin.
Is she?
It was everyone's had something of a career.
Oh
She was
my
in
God.
Lex. She'd done quite a lot of. She was a Ben Jesuit voice in the latest June.
Holy shit!
God.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's
That's
a
something.
thing. That's a
Yep.
thing. I
Mm.
mean, from small acorns and all that sort of thing. I mean, wow. Well done. Made it all the way to June from Tammy and the T-Rex. That's a career leap. It's kind of inverse to sort of Patrick Stewart going from like Hamlet and June and Star Trek down to was it being the shit emoji in the Emoji Movie? Yeah. So there's this whole thing with the dinosaur. Now, can I ask a question? The dinosaur turns up. The scientist basically Pornhub's all over it, testing its strength and its virility and its teeth and its powers and all this kind of thing. While quote unquote the lanky bitch kind of fawns all over him. And then okay, I think this is a really interesting question. I think this gets to the heart of the problem. Why?
Tale as old as time.
Because
why exactly? Why?
Because why a robot dinosaur?
Why not?
No, I'm not accepting that answer. Can you elaborate somewhat?
I think the answer comes later on in the funeral scene.
Go on.
Because he's watching the funeral and you can see the T-Rex very much being Paul Walker still alive. And he says to his long-legged accomplice, says, yes, this works perfectly. Imagine, I put an end to all of this. People won't have to die anymore. We can put them into robot bodies.
Right.
And that was his plan. And that's how
that is, yeah.
Hold on.
And this was a test run, presumably because he met Gollum Jr., who built a robot dinosaur, and it was cheap.
What?
I
Okay.
don't know.
Okay.
I don't know quite why the robot dinosaur, but I mean, it was a test run for his technology.
Yes.
That's about as much sense I could wring out of this. The same way you wring out an old rag after washing the floor.
So I get immortality then. I mean that's a kind of okay. I get that, but yeah, we still come back to why the T-Rex. I mean, you've come up with a theory, Jim. What about you then, Elton? Why do you think of the T-Rex?
Why do I think the T-Rex? Well, the only thing I can think of is, well, if you can build a dog, then why not build a T-Rex?
Why not? Just
Why
go
not?
there.
I I mean, you can't. I mean, that's the kind of quality logic that,
It's that
that you just can't
exasperation
buy.
thing,
You
isn't
just can't find anywhere else in a podcast, can you?
Sure, why not?
If you could buy, why build a dog when you could build a T-Rex?
Well, that's the conversation, though, isn't it? It's, well, I want something animatronic that we can put brains and live forever in. Well, we can't do humans yet. We can do a cat. Well, can we go one bigger? We can do a dog. Bigger. Horse. Bigger. Big cow. Bigger.
Killer whale, no
More teeth.
smaller. Because if you're going to make an animatronic dinosaur, then at least make one with arms that aren't like 2 inches long.
But that didn't hold it back, though, you notice.
Well,
Definitely not.
the Thunderbird sock hands were definitely on display there.
Yeah, I love it using the phone.
Using the phone.
I
Checking for the
particularly
coin.
like the tender and tasteful scene when we see them, the happy couple waking up on the barn and it had its hand on her ass.
When it was doing charades, trying to show her that he was Paul Walker.
I must admit, I was wondering, okay, how is she going to find out Paul Walker's brain is in that T-Rex? You know, charades, okay.
Charades,
Of course.
with 2 fingers.
Sounds like
Sounds like Jurassic Park.
That was unbelievable.
Yeah. So
see, that's where I was enjoying it, where you had the dinosaur, and there's shots from the outside of Denise Richards on them bales of hay, and the dinosaur in like a side-on view, and its teeny tiny arms. And then the next shot is it scratching its head and tapping itself on the head and go, brain, brain. And you think, and then it reaches out and touches her bracelet. And you think, and then it's like another side on shot. Like the arms are really tiny. Like, you fucking idiots. This is fucking brilliant.
oh God. Right, okay. Moving on from that bit. We've got the next bit, which is essentially we all got to do is wait for a brain, and then it's like, okay, what we're going to do, we're going to wait for a brain, and then we cut to Denise Richards, who is still upset after the ball crushing fight from earlier on, and she just calls Paul Walker over for a shag.
Yeah,
Why
very
is it
cool.
in all American houses, particularly those featuring teenage girls, there's always a trellis to climb up?
I don't know. Darren, you want to field that one?
Yeah. I don't know, mate.
You've fallen asleep, haven't you?
I've been. I don't know. It's like I've been thinking about my electricity bill while we've been talking about this. So I've kind of lost track. It's like, have I got enough electricity in the meter? Can I reach it from here?
If the power were to go off, would I be sad?
Yeah, would I be sad? Oh dear, I can't do the rest of this podcast. He could have gone off in the middle of this movie, really. But oh man,
I
Okay.
find it amazing that trellises are so strong over in America.
Yeah.
yeah, aren't they just? Just oh man, it's when she's that bit where they're looking for her, and she goes, "Oh, it must have been a meteorite," and I'm thinking, "Fuck off!" It must have been a meteorite.
Well,
Fuck
you know, at that point, I mean, you got animatronic dinosaurs wandering around town, not being noticed in daylight. So, why not? At
Oh
that
yeah,
point.
Yeah.
yeah,
And-
yeah, you haven't you?
Yeah.
On that trellis scene, you have that other girl that is just stirring the shit. And she didn't get the death that she deserved either.
What?
Well, I didn't see her get the death she deserved.
She was noshed. Pardon the phrasing.
She
while
was noshed to death.
she was noshed to death. While mid coital.
Well,
Yeah, so you'd have missed all of this watching the archive version.
Yeah.
The scene I saw.
You missed where two goons climb under a car and the T-Rex stands on it and their heads explode.
Oh, I saw that.
Did you see the heads actually explode, though?
You saw the car fall down on one of the heads, yes.
Okay.
But with her, because she's stirring the shit, you see this girl in the fight in the very beginning, and she's like really grimacing, going, "Oh, fucking give it to him," almost kicking as well. Where she has her comeuppance after she's having like a bit of bumpy in the back of that car, and then she's just picked up by the T-Rex by her foot, and then that's all I remember. I don't see. I don't remember her actually dying on screen or anything like that. There's a few people that did, but I don't remember her dying on the screen at all.
I at that point I'd lost the will to live, because that whole scene had the bit just before the T-Rex, as the T-Rex was walking up to the car, and Billy and the lady were having, as you say, umpy pumpy. Umpy pumpy. I mean, let's be honest. This is a podcast that regularly runs the Pornhub and jingle, and makes jokes about that sort of thing. But you can call it umpy pumpy. But anyway,
any T-Rex in you? No.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you get 12 pounds of meat out of a T-Rex? Well, anyway, and as the camera was going along, following the T-Rex's stuck-on feet, where clearly some bloke had just got a pair of socks with some claws on it.
I was thinking of those fucking industrial waders with fucking T-Rex.
I was rewriting a mud song.
He's like those kind of
those dino feet. That's right.
standing there in sort of fishing waders with like toenails painted on the outside. But as they're following the legs, the camera goes along the side of the car. Did you notice that the car was so highly polished that you could see not only see the camera, but you could see the trolley it was on, the four people pulling it along, the sound man, the cameraman, the director, and of course the person who was running the feet of the dinosaur, because it actually had them on stilts.
Which makes me think that was clearly done on purpose.
Was it though? Because that's
No,
where
I don't think it was.
Do you?
No, I fail to believe. I'm sorry. I think this was done as a serious labour of love. And the only one who knew took it for what it
cynical
fucking
labour
was
of love, maybe.
Terry Kaiser there. He's the only one that was like, am I fucking, what have I walked into here? I'll tell you what, if I get drunk enough, maybe I won't actually fucking, I won't be so fucking bothered. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to get drunk. Yeah.
But there are things where you make a TV show or a movie or a record, and what you want the viewers to see, you put on display, or what you want the listeners to hear, you put on display. And a shot like that is almost purposely done so it looks... It takes your eye off something else. It's a talking point. It's supposed to be a comedy movie, and so they put that on there so you can look at how stupid they've been because, they left the boom shot on there. And here you have collective, everyone kind of pushing the dolly along. I think it was done on purpose.
Well, see, here we go. See, I mean, back in the old days, we would have gone through the production. But I've just gone to the production on the wiki on this. And here we go. This is the entire thing about the production, which may give us a clue here. It says, Stuart Raphael says that he was approached by a man who owned a theatre in South America who had an animatronic T-Rex, which was going to a park in Texas. To quote Stuart, he said, the eyes worked, the arms moved, the head moved, and he had it for 2 weeks before it was going to get shipped to Texas. So he came to me and said, can we make a movie with it? And I said, yes, what's the story? And he said, I don't have a story, but we have to start filming within the month. And I wrote the story in a week.
I think you're giving them far too much credit if you think that they did this deliberately. I don't think they did this deliberately.
No, this
all.
is definitely delivery. They were definitely Troma was well established by this point, and he was going for that market because he's kind of you've got 2 weeks to film a movie with an animatronic dinosaur, just make it as stupid as possible. We might just get away with it.
I guess I don't know. The problem is the problem I keep coming back to. The Weekend at Bernie's fella was clearly, as Darren's rightly pointed out, clearly knew what sort of shit he was in. The thing that gets me is that some of the mistakes were not deliberate. The thing when you saw the T-Rex walking and they tried to do the CG, which was essentially not CG, what they did was they took a photograph, scaled it up, cut the legs out and made the legs scale up and down. And it's like, no, that's just cheap. That's not, there's no knowledge of, there's no point where they turn around and go, this will look funny. That's just we need to have a T-Rex walk towards a lady on a phone.
Yeah, what's the best that we can do?
Yeah, and so to me that was, yeah, and also the sequence which we're going to get to now, which is eventually Paul Walker gets found out by Billy that he's trying to sleep with Denise Richards. Billy turns up, rampages through Denise Richards' parents' house, who don't do anything.
No.
Just let it happen. And then they capture Paul Walker and leave him in the middle of a safari park.
Can we just point out, by the way, this is the same father of these parents that managed to hear us screaming while there was a fucking blender going off in his ear hole. Right? So you're telling me he couldn't hear Paul Walker literally, as you say, destroying Tammy's bedroom?
Yeah.
Do me a fucking favour.
Destroying Tammy's bedroom. Do we not do euphemism anymore, Jem? Come on. Anyway. So
I really feel like destroying Tammy's bedroom.
Do you want euphemism? Because this is how you get euphemism.
This is how you get euphemism. And I'm going to destroy Tammy's bedroom. Okay. Jesus.
Is the bedroom a metaphor?
Anyway.
I haven't destroyed Tammy's bedroom in a long time.
That's because you're a brain in a jar.
Brace yourself, Tammy. You're about to have your bedroom destroyed. For I am a sexual Tyrannosaurus.
I mean, that's...
He literally is, isn't it? Oh, it's part of the fucking Predator universe.
He's a sexual Tyrannosaurus.
He is a sexual Tyrannosaurus, and it's mentioned by what's his face?
Jesse Ventura.
Was Jesse Ventura actually in this movie? Do you think
I don't know.
Was like, could he possibly be part of that?
Could he be the T-Rex?
Could he be the T-Rex? Yeah.
Was he the T-Rex?
The T-Rex, who's a predator in more ways than one, obviously.
Nice. I see where it's going. I see where you're going.
You see where it's next level, man. She's like onion. Pull back the layers. Pull back the layers.
Sorry. Anyway.
Who are,
Mrs.
One skin.
No, stop it. Yeah, so basically Paul Walker gets mauled by a lion. Well, he gets chased by a jaguar.
He gets licked on the chest by whatever thing they're trying to make you believe is a lion.
Oh, God, yeah.
I just reckon it's like, somebody's dog or something. They've put a wig on. I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, I don't know about that, because it did look like a proper lion.
No, it did really look like he was actually a proper lion. And that was the bit I actually was most impressed with, because it's kind of like, Jesus Christ, someone could have got killed there.
Someone's getting killed there. Yeah.
Are you familiar with the movie Raw?
Yeah.
The backstory of that. No?
Mm.
Tippy Hendren and let's make a movie with my lions. They just love to play.
Yeah. They're just big cats.
70
aren't they?
cast and crew injured during the filming of it. 70.
Who knew? It was all right. It was all right until they brought the hot dogs out in lunchtime.
Oh, I get it. So that's what the opening sequence of Nope was based on. Is that right?
No. Oh God! Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
far off, actually.
Yeah.
If you look it up, it's unbelievable. And you see the footage of it, it is kind of like, oh my God, they've got not just one, literally like 10, 12 lions and tigers and leopards just running amok, chasing people.
Right.
There's one scene with an elephant, and the elephant goes, I don't like that boat, and just smashes it to bits in a fit.
Kicks the fuck out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Very
unbelievable. I say, if you look it up, if you're not familiar with it, you will. It's how they didn't all end up being sued to buggery and back, I will never know. And how no one died. I mean, it must be very.
Yeah.
Because I remember kind of when it was being just before it came out as part of the promotion, Blue Peter sent Simon Groom to the set. And
God.
he got mauled by a lion and came back to the studio with huge like bite marks on it. I was avoiding the shape of what was going to happen on set. Like,
Yeah.
fucking hell.
Fucking bandage across his eye.
I'm
that
just
sort of
looking.
thing.
yeah, down Shep. No, it doesn't work. No, apparently, hold on. I'm just looking at it. Actually, it says here due to so many people involved and injured on set, who went on to have successful careers, they would later all confess that lack of insurance, safety measures, and everything else. It was the toughest movie ever made, and was also the most dangerous film ever made. There you go. There's an entire film called The Making of Raw.
Oh, wow.
Well, there you
Okay.
go. Maybe we should look that up because that sounds cool. And it's been listed on the Hollywood Hall of Shame as one of the world's biggest cinematic mistakes of the last 100 years.
Fucking hell.
Seriously, look some of the footage on YouTube. It's beyond belief. It really is. How people didn't die.
Yeah.
I mean, they all joke about Phil, there were raptors in the kitchen.
Yeah.
It takes on a whole new light. It's like Tippy, there were 20 lions in that cabin and a bloke on top of a fridge in fear of his life. And they were fucking that place up.
Yeah. They were. Yeah. Oh, blimey. Maybe we have to find Raw now. We have to find it and do it. Oh,
It's
that'll
hard
be
for
cool.
I mean, God.
Have you not had enough?
I don't care. You haven't seen my fait accompli, my mic drop, and my next time I choose.
Oh, man.
Oh, you think this is bad? Don't worry, I've got.
Yeah,
I've
I
got
do
another
actually
one.
think this is bad.
No, this will seem like watching Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade by comparison to what I've got lined up next.
I'm just watching a trailer for Raw, and it says no animals were hurt in the making of this movie.
All the fucking cast were killed, though.
I think what you'll find is the movie was just because the cameraman was killed first, and the thing just kept running.
Yeah.
Until it filmed everything else, and they've just stick credits on either end. The
rest of it,
film.
the rest of it was body cams from trappers trying to recapture all the animals. Yeah. Back to Tammy and the T-Rex. I really want to watch Raw now.
I want to watch Raw now.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, so old Paul Walker, after being mauled by lions, gets put into a hospital where Billy, after leaving him there for dead, comes in to almost finish the job. And that's mad enough. But even madder, and this is where I actually thought they were making a comedy, in comes Weekend at Bernie's with a fag in his mouth. Right?
That was brilliant.
It's like, what? Everyone's going, Dr. Her.
Yep.
Thank God you're here. You can save this kid's life. And then as he walks past the reception, a bloke who has clearly got blood running from his neck to his sternum comes out and goes, yes. And she goes, wait a minute, I'm serving someone else. And he goes, oh yeah. And it just collapses. And it's like, what?
Well, that is the state of the American health system.
Oh, was
Over
that
there.
is that a bit
That's
of
it,
social
yep.
satire? Was it?
Yeah, that's why it was so
Was it?
empty as well.
Yeah, no one had paid. But then it gets into this whole thing of which I thought that's when I thought, yep, this is definitely a comedy. Which is when they try and pretend that Paul Walker's dead by switching over his heart monitor, jumping on his chest and going, "Live, live, live." Oh well, that's it. Call it. I mean, come on. By that point, surely you were all on board with the comedy side
Oh,
of things.
definitely, yeah. And the way it carries on, especially when they're wheeling him out, and he wakes up, and then they have to smack him in the face again. Helga, punch him.
Yeah, just punch him in the mouth. I didn't quite get the fact that the drugs didn't work on him. Was there a reason for that? Was there something I was missing there?
Because he was a fucking robot. So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's a bit like that thing at the end. Oh, why have you got a tranquilizer gun if he's a robot? Cause science shit things. Look over there, a monkey. Oh dear. Anyway, yeah.
Well, you have this gruesome scene where they're cutting out the brain as well.
Not just cutting out the brain, but pressing the cock button.
Oh yes.
The cock button.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Great moments in cinema. Number
Oh, yes.
453.
Oh, God, the cock button.
I can make him do this.
We can do this. But the worst bit of all with that, and that's when I went back to thinking this was just poorly made shite, was just before he did that, he sits up. He sits up to try and, before they knock him out. And as they sit up, you can see straight up his top, up his, surgery gown. Mm-hmm. And you can actually see there's a hand between his legs.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Through the bottom of the table. So when it gets to the bit when he goes, I can do this, and it does the cock button, it's the person moving their hand up and down underneath the table.
I honestly, it's okay. I honestly didn't think it was Paul Walker's Tadger.
Well, it's not so much
going for an Oscar-winning performance there.
Well, he went full method. I mean, let's put it this way. Press my cock button. I want that Oscar.
Although I would like to see that as a thing at the Oscars. And the best picture or best award for
the best cock performance, best penis performance.
Was it the best rising star? Goes to Paul Walker's cock.
Paul Walker's cock. But it was just more just like the fact that it was like, no, you clearly didn't see that in the edit. And it's so obviously there, and then after that it just turns into rampage time, but because I could go on through the whole film, but it would be as long as the film at this point. But at that point, I'm kind of, I don't know where I am with this film. I'm just like I laugh at bits, I hate bits, but nothing made me laugh nearly as much as the finale. Which is when he gets shot by the police.
When the T-Rex is standing on 2 bales of hay.
Yes. Yeah, he's standing on 2 bales of hay.
What?
I don't know.
Is that to hide like animatronics or something? Or the base of the actual thing?
The animatronics, which when you first see old, what's his face, when you see Weekend at Bernie's come out and see the dinosaur for the first time, they don't cover the base, and you can see like about 16 hydraulic cables literally coming out of the thing and running past him. And they obviously thought it looked scientific enough that you wouldn't notice. And after that, they spend the rest of the film trying to hide his feet for the rest of the film. I mean, he's like, the only time you ever see his feet move is when you see the feet on their own. Mm-hmm. And it's clearly a man with stilts. Because we know that because of the reflection in the door of the when everyone walks past, it's a bloke on stilts. But the thing was, no, it's when he gets shot, when the police shoot him, and they can't make the creature fall over because it's obviously still an expensive animatronic that needs to go somewhere afterwards. So they actually have his head, and it's like on the side of the door, and it just slides down the side of the door.
Yeah.
It's like it's literally like. Do you remember when you were a kid, you used to do the thing with the hand coming to throttle you from behind the door?
Yes.
It was exactly like that. It was like, oh, someone's just got their hand. Someone's here beside me. Oh no! It's like, no, they've just got the head. They've taken the head off the animatronic and they just slide it down the side of the door. It was just like, oh, fuck off.
What took me by surprise on this movie, though, is when they killed Billy. And they killed him quite early on as well, didn't they?
I can't
Well,
tell
that's it. I thought the entire film would be kind of like, stalk and slash with an improbable T-Rex creeping up on people in weird situations.
Yeah.
And I thought that would be kind of the joke that, you know what I mean? Kind of this T-Rex, you might just sneak up like a ninja on people and then, off them in a variety of different ways. But then he just went to the party and just did it all. And I'm actually quite surprised. Oh, really? What else have you got up your sleeve? I probably do want to know, but I can't stop watching at this stage.
What else have we got, obviously? Well, what we've got is the morgue sequence, checking cadavers' penises.
Oh, so funny.
So, yeah.
So funny.
So, for people who haven't seen this film, after Billy and everyone's killed, they load him into a van, load him into a lorry after finding out that Paul Walker's body has rapidly decomposed. Not just slightly decomposed, but rapidly decomposed.
That was slightly accelerated, wasn't it?
Just
the sort of like,
he's been
necrotizing effects there.
He's been dead less than a day, and then when they open up his coffin to try and find his body, it's a cadaver filled with maggots and rats.
He was obviously left near a window on a hot summer's day in the morgue. So
I've had yogurts that last longer than that. And so they decide they're going to find him a new body. And just the whole sequence of Byron, the gay guy, and Denise Richards both checking out various old people's, old cadavers' junk was
sounds like a pub name, that doesn't it?
Old cadavers.
Junk.
Anybody fancy going down the old
beer?
old cadavers junk? Still got a length of rusty chain and the brewer's foreskin in it. Yeah.
Although, if you do get a phone call while you're drinking because somebody wants to know where you are, and you say, "I'm in the cadavers junk," it's just like, no, it doesn't sound good.
I'll call back when you're on your own.
Exactly.
When you're less busy.
The thing that caught me by surprise was the way that they flippantly treat brain transplants. Where
anyone can do it.
Twist.
Not brain surgery, after all.
Yeah, it's just twist, pop, put it in a bowl, put it in a fruit bowl, and fill it up with liquid.
Mountain Dew.
Yeah. And then that's it. You plug it into the next body. And then they're going around looking for a new body for this thing. Just thinking, well, we can just take it out, put it into a punch bowl. It'll be fine.
Yeah, that'll work. Put some acupuncture needles in it and go live.
I know this isn't high science, but man, that was a ball drops.
Wow.
A few balls dropped in the morgue as well.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the bit when Paul Walker's. Well, I say Paul Walker. The T-Rex is in the back of the van, looking at the window, while Denise Richards takes and Byron take various cadavers and wave them at the window.
Oh.
And the T-Rex is kind of doing sort of so-so hands. And at one point with the girl, they lift a girl up, and it's just like, and it's the only time he actually goes.
Oh, you see, it's progressive. of the movie. You see, it's
That's progressive. Yep.
It's progressive. It's trying to be modern,
It's
trying
one
to
word
get with the
for it.
times, man.
Yeah, exactly. he's not sticking to gender norms, is he, old Paul?
No.
Paul Walker. Well, after jumping the species gap by being a robot T-Rex.
Hey, man, he's an equal opportunities T-Rex.
Exactly. And but it was when they pulled out the guy out of the locker, and they're both sitting there, and there's Byron going, "Well, I could do a lot with that," and then there's Denise Richards going, "Whoa, no!" It's like, how am I supposed to take that information? How am I supposed to take that reaction that Byron likes big willies or small willies, and that Denise Richards likes the opposite of whatever Byron? I don't know. Why am I thinking these things? And that was the problem. I was sitting there going, why am I debating the finer nuances of what she's seeing and why she's put off by it?
I'm lost now. I'm lost
Maybe
for
it was an
words.
odd shape.
Yeah, maybe.
You know?
Maybe it was just looked like a button mushroom. Maybe it looked like someone had attached a bullet train to a pair of boulders. Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe it looked like Newt Gingrich. We will never know.
Maybe it looked like E.T. left out in the noonday sun. Who can say? Who can say? So that's when the police catch up with them, miraculously just deciding to sort of find the T-Rex in the middle of nowhere. They have a standoff in the shed, and we have the emotional death. And then we find out that he isn't dead.
Also, another twist I may have missed.
Mm.
But Byron's dad is the sheriff?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Maybe you might be missing a scene, because that was established when the cops turn up after the party.
Yeah, when they're
okay.
poking at Billy's squashed head, and they're trying to work out whether or not it's a melon. Is that an eye? Is that a piece of his nose? Did you see that?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they're poking at that, aren't they? Yes.
And then Byron comes along, and then they say that fat, and then they say that, and as they get halfway through saying that, then all of a sudden they look at the sheriff and go, your son Byron.
Right, I may have missed that then.
Yeah, once again proving that the two sheriffs are just absolute dicks. And then we get Denise Richards, neurosurgeon, because she's managed to not only remove the brain from the T-Rex,
Yep,
but has managed to wire his optic nerves up to a Sony camcorder.
yep.
His voice up to a 386 DX6 D6, and then she performs a dance while the brain sits in more fresh Mountain Dew, which now happens to also have a bottle of whiskey in it.
Apparently so.
At which point he blows a fuse.
Yeah.
I mean,
so what? Wait, no.
Yeah.
Who fucking cares by this point?
I was going to say, if I may be so bold as to take the sexist view on this, when you get to the point where Denise Richards is literally dancing around in Anne Summers' Victoria's Secret's finest, and you're sitting there going, I'm in no way, in any way, kind of aroused or interested in this. I just want it to end and my suffering to finish.
Can I just add something to that, please?
Sure.
At the very beginning,
Mm.
she's at school,
Yes.
Yeah.
and at the end, she's dancing around in her underwear.
Yep.
Yes.
I found that very, very, very wrong indeed. Now she's well over age. I think she was 23 43 when she made
48
this.
when she made that film.
She was 48 when she made this.
It looked incredible. Wow. I mean, she had really good skin.
So she was 48 when she made this, but playing an 18-year-old, I'm guessing, at school.
Hey, and for that one actor in, was it Beverly Hills 90210, all the rest of them were sort of like 21, 22, and she was like 34. It was a short one with the glasses who was, I can't remember what you... I really can't remember. But, yeah, she was like 10 years older than the oldest member of the cast below her.
I mean, well, she was born in 1971. According to this, I'm just looking up on the wiki, by the way. I'm not being some mad stalker. In fact,
1917.
No, she was born in 1871.
She fought during the war.
Yeah, she fought during the Great War.
Flew Bomber Command.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she was born in February 17th, 1971, fact fans. Wow. And she made Tammy and the T-Rex in 1994, which would make her 23.
Yeah.
When it was released. So, yeah, she was a 23-year-old playing an 18-year-old.
But the fact is, you've started off with a school kid, and you have school kid problems at the very beginning of boyfriends turning up and other blokes involved, and cheating on your boyfriend and calling your boyfriend up the trellis because you're not
euphemism.
A 23-year-old.
Definitely up the trellis, yeah.
It's
destroying
all,
a bedroom.
Yeah, it's all school kid stuff, apart from possibly having sex with a dinosaur and then floating around in a bedroom in underwear. It just felt so wrong.
so icky.
No, quickly, let's end this quickly.
Well, younger me might well have done.
Do you know, I've never got the Denise Richards thing. She's pretty, but I've just never got it. Oh, the bell's coming again, isn't it?
No, not quite. No, it's cool.
No, I know what you mean. She's. I think what kills you for me is usually a shocking performance.
Yeah.
But I mean, when I was watching this scene, I wasn't watching her. I was watching the background of the bedroom, because earlier on I noticed the set designers had left the colour wheel they used to design the set just propped up against the wall. And sure enough, in the background, there it is. You can see the designer's colour wheel still just left in a corner.
Nice.
That says something, doesn't it?
It does.
Colour wheel,
I don't know.
Denise Richards.
Denise
Colour
Richards
wheel,
looks on
Denise
my
Richards.
age. I'm not sure what it is.
Colour wheel or Denise Richards, I like that. Window prop or Denise Richards.
I think we should have that.
I spoiled it earlier. So I was going, look, Teresa, there it is.
Look, there's the colour wheel. Euphemism.
We've got to work out the scale with that and have that as a way of, judging a film. So, colour wheel or Denise Richards? What was it?
Where are we?
Sail White.
Yeah, we're at Puce. Yeah, I think that's really weird because I mean, it's a scene that's supposed to be a sexy scene. Let's not beat around the bush here. Euphemism. Thank you very much. Do we not?
Let's not beat around Tammy's bedroom.
No,
We've already destroyed it. So
we've already destroyed Tammy's bedroom. Yeah, let's not. Let's do. Do we not do phrasing anymore? No. So we've already beaten around Tammy's bush, and if you just want it to end. If you just want the whole sorry affair to just go away at this point, surely that's some kind of major failing that even your most base, misogynistic, myopic feelings can't just sort of get in the way and just say, no, just 5 more minutes. You're like, no, actually, no, just turn the fucking thing off.
Well, they've clearly got to the end of the movie and they're like, well, we haven't had her in your underwear yet, have we?
Well, they have. They've had her in negligees. They've had her in. You basically anything you like.
This sounds like a list of charges.
Yeah. This is Your Honour. But no, they did. They had her in negligee, and they had her in a couple of like sexy sort of night dressy type things. And then when she was at the funeral, when she was standing in the funeral home, as Jim said, she had the sort of Ermitude floppy hat, sort of mid-80s lace slutty thing going on. Then you've got and
it was all very Soul Asylum, wasn't it? Jeez.
Soul Asylum.
Yeah, Runaway Train.
Runaway Train. Oh God.
What was the other one?
I don't know.
No, I think they only had one hit, mate.
Did they?
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to think of another band. Oh, there's another band. Four Non Blondes. There we go. Very Four Non Blondes.
Four Non Blondes. What's going on?
25 years. My life seems still trying to get up this great big hill of hope
for the destination. Anyway,
well, when that was sung in '94, that would have been, oh my God, 5 years ago.
Did you realise quickly when you knew you should that this world was never this brotherhood of man, or whatever that means? Because I wait sometimes when I'm lying in bed, still getting all out what's in my head, and I'm feeling a little peculiar. Find your weight in the morning when you step outside, and you take a deep breath, and you get real high, and
I scream
at the top of your lungs.
What's going
on? Or is it just me?
Well, actually, yeah. I say, hey, what's going on?
That's exactly what we thought of this movie.
we've managed to recall in terrible lyric form. For
What's up will be forever synonymous with Tammy and the T-Rex now as a review. That's all you got to do. That's what we should have done. We should have just played that instead of talking about this film. Just played.
Yeah, what's going on?
What's going on?
That would have summed it up. Right. Well, there you go. I don't know what else to say. I've just literally just.
That sums up this movie, I think. It leaves you exasperated and confused.
Exasperated and confused.
Which is not a Led Zeppelin song.
No, it's not. Does anybody else have anything that they wish? No. I mean, that is it, isn't it? It's like when you talk about something like The Room or Birdemic or anything, there's something hilariously awful about the fact that you can just sit there and just rip it to pieces. This is so tonally whacked out and wrong and misbalanced and ill thought out and clearly as cheap as chips.
I think this sits somewhere between Birdemic and Bad Taste. In that kind of void of nothing, you'd rather go for Bad Taste or you'd rather go for Birdemic.
I'll tell you where it should sit. Between two fucking concrete blocks. That's what it should sit.
Thrown down a well.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean...
Maybe in the middle of 4 concrete blocks that create a seal, and then you could just fill it with more fucking concrete. You know, this is it.
I mean, to be quite honest, it's not even the bad enough that you sit there and go, yeah, I've, you know, I'm really enjoying how awful it is. Because, you know, as we've said before on this cast, you know, I mean, I like films when they're shit, but they're shit because they're poorly made and ill thought out, as opposed to this, or something like. Was it something like the Sharknadoes, where it's deliberately done, and you just go, "No, see, you've made a mistake there." The
If this
sigh.
was actually a parody, right? If this film was supposed to be a parody, then it actually makes Spaceballs look like a proper parody. It really does.
Yeah. When Space
I,
Balls
I
isn't.
don't think this is meant to be a parody.
No.
This is a movie that turned out bad, and then it was, well, they were having fun making it, and it was in a rush.
Yeah.
This isn't your Sharknadoes that are just a genre of their own, where they're set out and
Deliberately
we will
awful.
make this bad, deliberately bad, and it's fake bad. It's not in that thing. It has a little bit of heart. I'd say it's got more heart than Sharknado and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that. I mean, because I think it is, you had a fortnight to make it, and you thought, well, what can I accomplish in a fortnight? Not too much. Let's just do something stupid. Whereas, kind of the Sharknadoes and all those sort of things, the Siffy channels shat out. So kind of, it's crap, isn't it? No, it's not. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Bad movies are funny when they're unintentionally funny.
Yeah.
This is very much going kind of, you'd seen trauma films and you thought, well, I can do that.
Yeah.
And that kind of do something really just out of the gate. It's stupid, it's schlocky, and played for laughs. And it's a scattergun approach, but it would be, if you had a fortnight to make it from script to screen, it is going to be scattergun, to be honest. I want to know where to get the lion from, frankly. That's what still bothers me.
Well, yeah. Or
Chippy Hendren had one that escaped, still roaming wild.
Or maybe he had one for 3 weeks or something.
yeah. Or maybe he was just at Joe Exotic's house or something. I don't know.
You never know.
But yeah, I mean, the because my high watermark or low watermark for bad films which are unintentionally bad are things like Street Fighter, which I know in my heart of hearts is a terrible, terrible film, and I would not recommend anyone watch it. But for Raul Julia just going, you know what, fuck it, I've got a week to live, and my kid likes Street Fighter, so fuck it, I'm going to go absolutely wang doodle with this, and just completely eats the set. Then to me, that is 100 times more awful, but also more brilliant for being awful than something like Sharknado or even this. I mean, I know what you're saying, Jimmy. You know, this is kind of like, yeah, what you're gonna expect from 2 weeks because that's all we've got the T-Rex for. But on the other hand, you know, it feels there is a certain cynicism to it, and
there is that sort of whiff of the aroma of trauma about it. Of that kind of, let's do something just batshit crazy and slocky, which is kind of, again, it's forcing the issue. It's not, you're not capturing that sort of Plan 9 or Robot Monster Gold where someone's made something dreadful unknowingly.
Yeah, it's the snakes on the plane thing, isn't it? As soon as they do snakes on the plane and they actually make a whole point of this is a shed film, and then you got, you know, Samuel L. Jackson actually saying the title in the trailer, you're like, squonk, thank you very much, stand up, clap, leave. I mean, it's stupid, and that to me is not fun. I don't get the fun in that. But watch Street Fighter, watch The Room, watch Birdemic, watch Manos Hands of Fate. And those films are made earnestly, and they are awful earnestly, and they are much more fun for it, I think. Whereas this,
definitely,
yeah, you can argue it, but not as much as, yeah.
Well, this, I think, it wasn't good. Joke wasn't just going to be, haha, this is stupid and crap. They're going, okay, we're taking a stupid idea and we're just going to really run with it and try and be funny. But the fact is, not everything lands. Bits do, and other bits don't. And there's other bits where they just, well, they had some footage and they ran out of time and money, and that was that. You know.
Yeah. Oh well. Right. I think we're done. Unless anyone's got anything specifically they want to bring up.
Move on, man.
Move on. You are done, are you?
Yeah, what you need to do is you need to take yourself off that crucifix you've been putting yourself on, break the wood down, build a bridge, and get the fuck over it now.
Wait until my next one. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, for God's sake, man.
Yeah. No, I'm making a point. Don't worry. It's everyone else can pick what they like, but I'm kind of reintroducing some salt to the wounds with my picks. So just bear that in mind going forwards. So there you go, juicy dangler for what's coming next time I get a pick. So wait in 4 weeks and have fun. Guessing what that's going to be. So we'll leave it there. If anybody's got any thoughts on Tammy and the T-Rex, other than for 6 hours, just let us know. Send it to us an email to feedback@blackdogpodcast.com or join us on the Facebook group in the usual place, facebook.com/groups/the Black Dog Podcast. But before we get to Pimp's Corner and then wrap it all up, Jim, it's your turn, I understand, to pick next week's film.
Right.
Okay. Now I'm scared. Go on in.
I thought I'll give you a choice.
Go on.
You can have something right up to the date new, which I've not seen.
Okay.
That I thought caught my thought. Oh, that's intriguing. That could be worth a punt.
Mm.
Or you can have something I definitely have seen that is considered a classic.
Well, I'm
old or new, basically.
Okay.
Old and safe territory, or new and dangerous.
Okay, Elton, what do you
I'm
think?
backing out of this one. I always
No.
wrong.
We're all going. We're going around in a circle. So your turn first. Go on. What
Okay,
are you going?
I'm going to say new.
Okay, Darren.
Yeah, whatever.
That's a right.
I feel you've not quite grasped the question here.
No.
You have an old or new.
Old or new? I don't know. Are they both particularly painful, Jim, or are they good?
Well,
That's what I
one
wanna
I've
know.
not seen, so I don't know. But I
Yeah.
thought it was interesting, promising. Shall I say?
I'm just preparing
the
myself.
other one is I
That's all.
have seen, and I think is good.
Oh right, okay,
Mhm.
all right.
It's only my choices going forward that you're going to have to fear.
Oh, it's just yours. Okay then.
Yeah.
We're not on a general.
I've not picked anything intentionally awful.
No.
Oh, thank God for
I
that.
thought we needed a break.
Whereas I
Old-
will every
old or
4
new?
weeks. Yeah. Go on.
Old or new? I'll tell you what, because this one was particularly old. Let's go for new.
Well, there you go. That's it. I will defer to the majority, Jim, because if they all want to go for new, then new's good for
Go
me too.
new. Go on.
So what do we have in the new category?
Excuse me. Okay, it's on Amazon Prime. It's from 2020.
Mm.
But I don't think anyone's seen it.
Mm.
It's called After Midnight.
Right.
Basic premises: a man lives out in the woods, and that every night at midnight, a monster comes to visit him. That's the synopsis. But what caught my eye was that Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhouse are involved.
Right.
They're not written or directed, but they have a hand in other roles in the movie.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I thought, okay. If they're this could be,
Okay.
I'll give this a go.
Is this in the same universe or
Well, it's not one of their films,
right?
but it's just kind of like Justin Benson actually acts in it, and I
Yep.
believe Moorhouse was a producer, if I remember rightly. So I thought, oh, okay.
Right. Well.
It's kind of, I thought like, this could be interesting.
Okay. Well, it's After Midnight. Formerly titled Something Else. That's interesting. That's useful. But okay, and it's got Aaron Moorhead in it, and yes, I remember. As soon as his thumbnail came up, yes, I know him. Yes, I know them. Brilliant. My brain's just suddenly snapped into place.
It's not a film by them, but it feels kind of
Of them.
like a film from their family or their friends, if you know what I mean. So I thought, thought this could be interesting.
Okay.
Probably not not how you think the premise is going to play out, judging, I'm guessing, but we'll see. I've not seen it, so it's a...
Yeah. Okay.
I think we're on safe ground, hopefully, with its pedigree.
We'll see. Yeah, I've never seen this or even heard of it before. So this is an interesting one. After Midnight. I'm going to ask the question anyway. Darren, have you seen or heard of this?
Absolutely not.
Okay,
not at all.
Elton?
No, looking forward to it though.
Well, it's definitely not Tammy and the T-Rex quality, is it? Let's be honest.
No.
I think we can be safe in assuming that.
I hope not.
Yeah, same here. I really, really hope not. But there you go. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, next week's film is After Midnight, available on Amazon Prime. And we'll just see what it is, what it's like. I've only got a premise here. Following a 10-year relationship, Hank's girlfriend breaks up with him. While trying to cope, he must confront a monster that tries to attack him. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they're somehow related, but God knows how. So we'll find out. So, ladies and gentlemen, take a look at After Midnight, and we will be reviewing that next week. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. Cool. Right. Well, let's move on to Pimp's Corner before we wrap it up and say goodbye. So, Jim, what's happening over at Hypnagoria, if anything, given, this and everything else?
Well, this week I released an episode from the Patreon Vaults, where I'm looking back at some books from my formative years from the 70s and the 80s when kids' books were properly scary, and looking at some of my favourite books about ghosts and hauntings.
Nice.
And depending if I get anything together, there might be the second part of that this week from the Patreon Vaults as well.
Nice.
But we'll see. We're playing it by ear.
Okie dokie. Cool, and that's over at hypnagoria.com.
It is indeed.
Lovely. And Elton, what about you, sir?
Nothing specific at the moment. So if you want to listen to old episodes, then head over to rogue2media.com.
Well, you got that thing about lists that came out last week.
Yeah, I did, yeah. I
pimped
that last time, didn't I?
Oh, all right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Darren, anything? Anything you'd like to pimp?
No.
Right. There you go.
Nothing. Absolutely.
I'm gonna keep asking, because one day you'll say yes.
Indeed. It'll be the week you don't ask.
Yeah, be the week I don't ask.
Oi!
Oh, you missed me out, you fucker. Right. I've got nothing to pimp, because this is it. This is me. This is all that there is. So yeah, there you go. Thanks very much for listening. So thank you, Jim. Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Elton.
No problem.
I can't believe you're still talking to me after Tammy and the T-Rex. But yes, we shall see you all next week for After Midnight. So take care, stay safe, and we'll see you all soon. Till then, take care. Tatty bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ta-da.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me. Down the road, it's where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll want to settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on.
Get out of the booth, Jack.
No, I like it in here.